In today's fast-paced world, scrolling has become an integral part of our daily lives. From social media platforms like Instagram and TikTok to endless news articles and blogs, it's easy to get caught up in an infinite loop of digital content. What may start as a quick check of your notifications can easily turn into hours spent scrolling through your feed. But have you ever stopped to consider how this seemingly harmless activity is sabotaging your productivity and momentum? In this video, we'll dive into how scrolling affects your brain, kills your momentum, and ultimately prevents you from achieving your goals. We'll also explore ways to break free from the cycle of endless scrolling and take back control of your time and focus. Understanding the brain's response to scrolling. The first step in understanding why scrolling is so dangerous is to look at how it impacts our brain. Our brains are hardwired for instant gratification. Every time we see a new notification, like, or comment, our brain releases a burst of dopamine, the feel-good chemical associated with pleasure and reward. This dopamine hit is addictive. It encourages us to keep scrolling, looking for the next small burst of satisfaction. In fact, this process is very similar to what happens when people engage in addictive behaviors, such as gambling or substance abuse. The more you scroll, the more your brain gets used to the instant gratification of digital rewards. Over time, this rewires your brain, making it harder to focus on tasks that require sustained effort. Instead of focusing on long-term goals or meaningful projects, your brain starts to crave these short bursts of dopamine that come with scrolling. The impact on your focus and productivity. One of the most significant ways scrolling destroys your momentum is by sabotaging your ability to focus. When you're engaged in a task, your brain is working hard to keep you in a state of flow. Flow is that productive, highly focused state where you're fully immersed in your work, and time seems to disappear. This is the ideal state for accomplishing important tasks, whether it's writing a report, learning a new skill, or building a business. However, scrolling constantly interrupts this flow. When you check your phone for just a minute, you break your focus. This small disruption may not seem like a big deal, but research has shown that it can take up to 23 minutes to get back into the zone after an interruption. So each time you scroll, you're not only wasting that time, but also preventing yourself from getting back to a high level of productivity. Even more insidious is the way scrolling makes you jump from one thing to the next without ever fully engaging in anything. 1 minute you're looking at a funny meme, then you're reading a news article, and before you know it, you're watching a video about something unrelated. This constant switching of tasks, known as task switching, drains your mental energy and reduces your cognitive performance. It's not just that scrolling takes time, it also makes you mentally fatigued, which makes it harder to focus on the things that really matter. The long-term effects of scrolling on momentum. While the immediate effects of scrolling might seem harmless, after all, you're just checking your notifications or browsing your feed for a few minutes, the long-term impact is far more significant. Over time, scrolling becomes a habit. This habit slowly erodes your ability to stay focused, and before you know it, you're spending more time online than you are working on your personal goals or ambitions. In fact, studies have shown that excessive use of social media can lead to lower levels of life satisfaction and decreased well-being. When you spend hours scrolling, you're not only wasting time, but you're also robbing yourself of the opportunity to engage in meaningful activities that could help you grow as a person. Your goals, whether they're related to your career, health, relationships, or personal development, require focus and effort. Scrolling only serves to distract you from the things that matter most. How scrolling creates a cycle of procrastination. Another dangerous aspect of scrolling is how it feeds into procrastination. When you find yourself scrolling instead of working, it's not because you're lazy or unmotivated. It's because scrolling creates an easy escape from the discomfort of a difficult task. Whether you're facing a challenging project at work or struggling with an aspect of your personal life, scrolling provides an immediate distraction. It offers a brief moment of relief from stress, anxiety, or boredom. However, this relief is short-lived. What often happens is that you scroll for a few minutes to take a break, but that break extends into hours, and the task you were supposed to be working on gets pushed aside. The more you give in to this temptation, the more you create a cycle of procrastination. The more you procrastinate, the more overwhelmed you feel, which leads you to scroll even more in an attempt to escape from the pressure. The emotional toll of scrolling. Scrolling doesn't just affect your productivity, it also takes a toll on your emotional well-being. As you scroll through social media, you're exposed to a constant stream of images, stories, and videos that showcase other people's lives. While some of this content can be inspiring, much of it is curated to make people seem more successful, happier, or more attractive than they actually are. This can create unrealistic expectations and lead to feelings of inadequacy. The comparison trap is a powerful emotional force. When you constantly compare your life to the highlight reels of others, it can make you feel like you're falling behind. This emotional drain can further diminish your momentum, as feelings of sadness, envy, or frustration make it even harder to focus on your goals. Instead of feeling inspired to take action, you end up feeling defeated. Multitasking and scrolling. The myth of efficiency. Some people believe that they can scroll while working on other tasks, thinking they're multitasking and being more efficient. However, research shows that multitasking is a myth. The human brain isn't designed to juggle multiple tasks at once. When you try to do too many things simultaneously, your brain is forced to rapidly switch between tasks, which leads to decreased performance on all fronts. Scrolling while working doesn't just reduce the quality of your work, it also increases the chances of making mistakes. If you're trying to read an important email while scrolling through your Instagram feed, you're not fully processing either task. This lack of focus can result in missed details, poor quality work, and a greater overall sense of frustration. Reclaiming your time. How to break the cycle. Now that we understand the negative effects of scrolling on our momentum, it's time to discuss how you can break free from this cycle and take back control of your time and productivity. Here are some practical steps you can take. The first step is to establish boundaries for how much time you spend on social media. Set specific limits for yourself, whether it's 30 minutes per day or only using social media during certain hours, and stick to them. Many apps now have built-in features to help you track and limit screen time, making it easier to hold yourself accountable. There are numerous apps and tools available that can help you block distracting websites or apps during work hours. Apps like Freedom, Stay Focused, or Rescue Time can help limit your access to social media while you're working, ensuring you stay focused on the task at hand. If you're not ready to completely cut out social media, try practicing mindful scrolling. Be intentional about when and how you use social media. Instead of scrolling aimlessly, decide in advance what you're going to look at, and set a timer to ensure you don't get caught in an endless loop. Mindful scrolling allows you to enjoy the content you love without letting it control your time. One of the best ways to overcome the temptation of scrolling is to prioritize deep work. Set aside blocks of time each day for uninterrupted, focused work on your most important tasks. During these blocks, turn off notifications and put your phone out of reach. This helps you establish a habit of deep, focused work, which naturally leads to greater productivity and momentum. Lastly, find activities that don't involve screens to recharge your mind and body. Whether it's going for a walk, reading a book, practicing meditation, or engaging in a creative hobby, these activities can help you take meaningful breaks that recharge you without falling into the trap of scrolling. Scrolling may seem harmless, but it's one of the biggest productivity killers in today's digital age. By constantly interrupting our focus, reinforcing procrastination, and creating emotional and mental fatigue, scrolling robs us of our time and momentum. If you're serious about achieving your goals in 2025, it's time to take control of your habits and break free from the endless scrolling cycle. By setting boundaries, prioritizing focused work, and practicing mindful consumption, you can reclaim your time and make significant strides toward your personal and professional goals. Remember, every minute you spend scrolling is a minute you could have spent working toward your dreams. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe to Mindset Dominance for more tips on improving your productivity and focus and achieving your goals. Together, let's take control of our habits and make this year the best one yet.